Hello, everybody. Welcome in out of the park 24 Philadelphia Phillies 2025 season. Now we're in the offseason. We're going to bring you up to date on what's been happening with your Phillies. We're calling this season All In, and we'll talk about why we're doing that. And we'll talk about the winter meetings. Winter meetings are over. We'll talk about what may or may not have happened during those meetings. Bryce Harper, off-season accident in his home. We'll bring you up to date on that as well. Free agent signings, international free agent offers currently out. Who's on the roster right now that might not be here on opening day? We'll talk about the Phillies' offseason strategy. What are they looking to do? How are they looking to improve? We'll go down through the transactions that have happened so far and what may happen going forward. All that and a lot more coming up. Out of the Park 24, 2025 Philadelphia Phillies All In. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. Once again, always appreciate those of you who are listening to me talking about my out of the park baseball team. Lot to get to today. It is the off season. Just as a quick recap, those of you who have been listening or following on the Out of the Park 24 forums, Phillies 90-win season, win the National League East, and then a quick sonic boom-like exit from the playoffs as they took on the Washington Nationals, a team that they had taken care of down the stretch in September. Couldn't get it done in the playoffs, swept out 2-0 by those Nationals. Los Angeles Dodgers did go on to win the World Series. As you could probably tell, I am a little bit under the weather, so my voice probably sounds a little odd. I hope I don't sneeze or sniffle too much and drive you crazy with that. All right, the winter meetings have come and gone. The Phillies got out to a quick start, made some offers ahead of time. Didn't do much at the winter meetings, if anything at all. About the biggest thing that happened over the winter meetings was Zach Wheeler signing with the Yankees. 4 years, just under $71 million total, we'll call it. Less money per year than the Phillies and Wheeler were negotiating, so that's caused a little bit of a stir in the Phillies front office. As we all know, John Middleton, Phillies owner, director, wanted Zach Wheeler to stay with the team, but with the money that the Phillies had at that moment for extensions, Wheeler would have been the only guy. There wouldn't have been anybody else added to this team if Zach Wheeler had been kept. Zach Wheeler having sub-Zach Wheeler seasons for the last 3 seasons, really. I guess last year wasn't so bad, but this year, not a great season for him. 2 years ago, not a great season for him. So Phillies did not re-sign him. He moved on to the Yankees. Let's talk about this Bryce Harper story, because this is probably what would be the biggest story, actually. December 25th, Bryce was doing some work in his basement. I'll just read you the press release here. Phillies right-hander Bryce Harper is recovering at a local hospital today and is reportedly in fair conditioning after suffering a severe electric shock at his home yesterday. This would have been Christmas Eve in game time, or Christmas Day in game time, I think. According to team officials, Harper had been doing some remodeling in his basement when he was electrocuted by an exposed wire. An initial report late last night indicated Harper was unconscious when an ambulance arrived and that he may have gone into cardiac arrest while being transported to the hospital. That rumor has not been substantiated. Frankly, he's lucky to be alive, said teammate JT Realmuto, who visited Harper in the hospital this morning. His doctors say his prognosis is very good, but he's going to be out of commission for a little while. A hospital spokesman indicated that Harper will likely be released tomorrow. However, team officials suggest it may be at least a week before he will be allowed to return to full activity. So, Out of the Park loves to hit you with some stuff, don't they? Off-season, Christmas. Bryce, maybe a contractor. You're making $26-27 million a year. But he seems like he's okay. We will see. Harper is a key guy on this team. Obviously, he's a centerpiece of the Phillies in reality. And in this Out of the Park team, his numbers have absolutely dwindled. Been way down, and we were hoping for a bounce back season from him. We certainly want him to be with us, walking the planet. Obviously, this is a fake story for Out of the Park, just in case you're confused. This is not a real thing. Bryce Harper did not actually in real life get electrocuted, but yeah, in the game he did. So looking at his ratings here, that he's not affected at all. He's not listed as injured, so it seems like he has recovered. It is actually late January in game time. I stopped here because you got the preseason begins at the 28th, and a lot of these screens will change. So there was a few things I wanted to go through on a video to bring you up to date on before we flip over to the preseason and lose some of this some data here that we can show you. All right. So we talked about the winter meetings. Not much happening there. The reason for that is, quite honestly, the Phillies made some quick offers. What we did is we kind of identified what we wanted to do here. Now, let's go to the main screen real quick. And this is the current team lineup rotation, and then your top 5 bullpen guys. We'll go look up here real quick later. But I'm not settled on this batting order. This is probably the starting lineup. As you can see, Jose Iglesias is going to stand out to you. We added him at shortstop, and don't see anybody else there. You can see the biggest thing that you're probably looking at is there's no number 1 starter. That was Zach Wheeler's spot. Haven't made a decision yet on who technically will take over the number 1 spot in the rotation. I believe in the last video we talked about Sixto Sanchez being added to the team, so we won't go over that again. But it's going to be Nola or Kershaw unless something else happens. The Phillies, we don't have the money to go sign a number 1 starter. In order to get one, we would have to move somebody. We'd have to move a contract, and that would have to be someone like a Hoskins, a Real Muto, which is not happening. Harper has a no trade clause. Schwarber could be interesting later in the season, potentially too, as if this team does not compete like I think it should. Schwarber is in the last season of his contract, so he could be someone that if this team does not live up to expectations, could be moved at some point. I don't think I want to move him now because honestly, he's the best bat in the lineup. He's the one that drives this team. When he is hot, this team wins. So I don't think we want to make that move yet. Let's see, what else we got here? Free agents, signings, and international free agents. Let's flip over. Let's take a quick look in the manager's office. Let's go down through the history, and we'll just tell you what we've done in this offseason. So we identified, the idea was rather than going out and chasing after one of these high-profile number 1 pitchers or paying Zach Wheeler a bunch of money, excuse me, thought the best thing to do, as we've discussed before, is fix this team's defense. Let's get it better defensively, and maybe we can make all of these pitchers better. So the first big move, here you can see Vierling left. Scott Kingery was actually in the minor leagues, believe it or not. He is gone, thank God. Zach Wheeler is gone, and Blake Treinen was up and down for the Phillies. He did good. He struggled at times, but his age and the years he wanted, we didn't keep him. Granelius here is a guy who was an international free agent discovery. Signed him. His scouting report under our old scout initial signing, he looked like a 16-year-old potential Ryan Howard. So I just was big time after this guy. Since then, in the couple seasons that he played with the Phillies, never really got out of the lower minor leagues. You can see he really struggled offensively, didn't show really much power at all. A lot of strikeouts, was really struggling. He is still considered the number 31 prospect in baseball. He's now 19 years old. But you can see that his projections have dropped a lot. So decided it was time to move on. The thinking is we needed a shortstop. Jose Iglesias is as good as you're going to get defensively with that bat. Someone who will help us offensively, make contact, and play an excellent shortstop. So that's the best combination we were going to get. It's going to cost us $11.5 million a year, but I think it's well worth it. Hopefully this will take some runs off the board, and he's someone that won't kill us at the plate. Last year, Stott wasn't a great bat, and he wasn't a great shortstop. He's a better second baseman, better third baseman. This is a big improvement at shortstop. He is 35 years old. We got him till the end of 2026, but we talked before about the window that this team has to win, which is right now. Along those lines, then, Rafael Marchand, a guy who the Phillies moved some time ago in real life. We still had him as our backup catcher. We moved him to Milwaukee for David Bednar, a guy who I think gives us a little more depth. Giovanni Gallegos is going to be out until maybe September. He has a very severe injury. Once Gallegos and Osuna were hurt last year, the bullpen, that's a lot of talent no longer in that pen. So we added some depth here in this trade with the Brewers. Gave up a really good young player, but we've got JT. Gambling that we're going to be able to extend him and keep him. We'll see how that idea works out. But yes, so David Bednar picked up in a trade for Marchand. Right now we have him penciled in as a co-closer, but definitely setup man, potential closer. Last year, this guy was outstanding. 68 games, 72 innings, a 1.12 earned run average. He's been really good. He was really good in Pittsburgh. Great season for Milwaukee. Let's hope that continues. That whip just over 1. Man, I don't even like to say these numbers because I feel like I'm cursing myself, but 10 strikeouts per 9 innings, 2.9 walks, little up there, but just 0.1 homers per 9 innings, and he's a ground ball pitcher that throws 97 to 99. So keep your fingers crossed that we've added some depth to that back end of our bullpen. Jose Fernandez, that's a scout discovery. Darian Nunez, Rule 5. I did not go into the Rule 5 draft thinking we would select anybody, but the Dodgers had this gentleman just hanging around in AAA, and that's what the Rule 5 draft is all about, getting guys like this into the majors. Kyle Dohe, pitched very well for us last year, and this guy is better. So another lefty to give us Dohe, Alvarado, and hopefully Nunez, as long as this works out. I do worry a little bit about that control, but man, that stuff and that movement, this guy should miss some bats. He might walk some people, but he should miss a lot of bats. And just outstanding fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, off the charts changeup. So we'll see. He's somebody that we should be able to keep on the roster all year. So he's a Rule 5 pickup. If we don't keep him on the roster, we have to return him. I don't see that as being a problem. I think that was a big find. So the bullpen, that was the best bullpen in the National League last year for the whole season statistically, definitely not at the end, but I think we made it better. Eduardo Paredes, this guy, I have no idea how this guy got signed, and I'm not going to lie to you. I actually went into GM mode and got rid of this guy. He was pitching for, I think, in the Mexican League somewhere, and I think he threw like 20 innings. I don't know where the stats went on this. Let's see if I can find them here. No, I can't. Anyway, this guy just mysteriously showed up. $1.4 million signing. I think the message was like, hey, it's great. We'll be able to focus on baseball full time. Apparently he was not even. Oh, here we go. The Durango Generales. They gave him $1.4 million. I didn't sign him. I don't know who signed him. I went into commissioner mode and got rid of him because it took a big chunk of the money that I am over the cap. It really handicapped me for moving. So I don't like to do that. I like to let things happen as they are, but I have no idea who signed him. I guess a game glitch, as no one else has permission but me to sign. So anyway, that was fun. Austin Nola did sign with us. He signed a minor league contract. It will be worth $1.5 million if he makes the squad, the major league team. Austin Nola has really good leadership skills, which this team is weird. That the OOTP feels like this Phillies team doesn't have much leadership. I don't know if I buy that, but it helps to have a guy like this around. He's a veteran. He's not a great offensive player, but he can play a lot of positions. He can back up catcher for JT, and he can go out and play some first and move around the infield, do a lot of things for us. Pinch hit if we need him, but like I said, he gives you that leadership at the backup catcher position, so that should help the team overall. And Jason Hayward, picked up Jason Hayward, $3.5 million roughly. He is going to split time in center field with Rojas. Rojas is really emerging it looks like he could emerge this year, we'll say, as a really good full-time player. For right now, though, I really needed to get center field defense better. And Jason Hayward, he's a good team guy. He's a very, very good outfielder, plays all three positions. Not the best center fielder that we could have gotten, but he gives us that combination of a very good center fielder and someone who will contribute. If you look at the ratings, obviously he's better against righties, so he will split time with Rojas in center. He will get a lot of time against righties. It's not going to be an everyday thing because I want Rojas to play a lot, but Rojas is also going to back up Schwarber and get some time in left. And as per right now, you might actually see we'll shake this out in spring training, but you might see a platoon in right field. Yeah, Bryce Harper and Alex Campo may be splitting time in right field. Campo's got great numbers against great ratings against lefty. No numbers last year were good, but if he's seeing predominantly lefties, and Harper's ratings against lefties are just really bad right now. Again, we're playing Harper because he's our guy. We got him, center of the team. He's got a new trade clause, so there's no real option. We got to play him, and but maybe we can help him out. Maybe if he sees right-handers more, maybe the numbers start to come up, maybe the ratings start to turn around, maybe we can rehabilitate. Let's see. All right, we went through the offseason. So the strategy, like I said, though, was just really to get the defense better and help these pitchers out. I feel like if you look at our rotation, it is lacking a true number one. I don't think Aaron Nola or Clayton Kershaw are true number ones. They have times where they can be. Hancock and Sixto Sanchez are not number ones either, but I'm comfortable with 2 through 5 here. It's just going to be one of these guys has to step up. For the next video, we'll talk spring training and we'll look at who could be coming in to take over the 5th spot in this rotation, but we'll save that for then. We do have some minor leaguers who have a shot. We have one minor league pitcher that we keep getting trade offers for. He's pretty good. I didn't think he was that good, but I'm starting to think maybe we give him some turns in spring training and see he'd be coming up from high A. So it'd be quite a jump, but he feels he's ready, and other teams are definitely after him. So we'll see if we're missing something there. Let's see. All right. Washington Nationals have been making some moves too. They're pretty good. We'll look at the NL East the next time as well. Anything else that we want to go through? Give you a quick look at the front office. I did lower ticket prices a little bit. I didn't remember raising them, but last year our attendance was hurt after the ticket prices got raised. Maybe I did it and forgot about it, but right now as we sit, we have about $4.5 million, so we can make some moves. Oh, I know what it was. Let's look at the international free agents because we have offers out right now. But you can see the market size, fan loyalty is good loyalty. If you were rooting for a team that lost nearly 11,000 games, yeah, you'd be a little skeptical too. But fan interest is at 100%, so that's good. Let's take a look at the off-season center. Some really interesting signings going on. Like I said, Washington added Alex Verdugo, and I can't remember who else. Well, we'll see. Like I said, we're going to save that for next one when we preview spring training, and we'll take a look at potential the NL East, who the competition in the East is. International free agents. For us, we have 3 offers out, 2 starting pitchers, and Marcio Nostert. Now, Nostert was a guy that, all right, so we started this and we were thinking we didn't want to go crazy. Whoa, what the heck happened to his rate? There we go. That is weird. That is a huge difference. League thinks very differently about this guy than our scout does. That's very interesting. I never noticed that. But anyway, this is a guy that we'd brought into camps, had a very good relationship with. Not the best potential guy around, but good speed, steals bases. The base running and the bunting type of stuff maybe gets better as he develops through the minor leagues. Good range. The fundamentals, like the physical part of it, is here for this guy. So defensively, maybe we can work with him and get this better. And the arm, not necessarily being great, but he's 17 years old. Maybe it gets a little better. 50 or above is fine. But he could play any center field position, preferably left. But I do like the contact, the gap power, and the avoiding Ks. Not great discipline, not a ton of power, but he is a switch hitter who plays 3 outfield positions, and a great attitude. He was somebody that we identified when we were looking at not spending a ton of money in the international free agency this season. Jesus Villalobos. Not a lot of movement, but the rest of this stuff looks really, really good. Oh, man. Their league ratings on this guy dropped too. But our guy is a specialty is amateur free agents. So I'm going to trust my guy on this. And I think with this stuff and plus fastball, plus curveball, changeup, I mean, it's 4 great pitches. He's got good stamina. Bullpen, I'm thinking starter. Yeah, future starter. Movement does worry me a little bit, but the stuff is high. So, and he has good control, so that could be all right. Plus, he's a ground ball guy in the mid-90s, so he's not just relying on throwing the ball past you. So I think this is a really good-looking pitching prospect at 17 years old. And Felix Salgado, a guy, I had no plan on going after this guy, but looking at it, I was like, what the heck? Don't love the stamina as a starter, but excellent movement, outstanding stuff. Should miss tons of bats. Control is above average. Curveball, 65. Screwball could be a 70. Who throws a screwball anymore? Changeup, maxed out. This cutter, oddly enough, the cutter is his best pitch right now, but it projects to be an average pitch in the major leagues for him. But holds runners at 65. It's just a guy that I think the scouting reports say potential number 1 starter eventually. Salgado looks to be a future number 1 starter. Again, our scout specializes in amateur free agents, so I'm going to really rely on his thinking on this. All right. So there you go. Bryce Harper, home accident, but he's okay. It looks like he'll be all right. I saw the cardiac arrest thing, and I thought, wow, that's a little scary. But it looks like he's all right. We brought you up to date on who we're working on bringing in and who we've currently signed. Like I said, the winter meeting's not very eventful because we went out and figured out who we wanted, and we didn't really intend to go after a lot beyond that. So that's what we did. By the time the winter meetings came around, we had identified our people and we had offers out. Made some trades that I think were very beneficial, but the reason we're saying all in is because these were trades for this season. These trades are not future because we gave up some really good prospects, but I think we can rely on our scout to get us some good talent back into the organization. And we actually currently have, there's probably 2, maybe a third pitcher that could fill that 5th spot from within the organization. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, you're now up to date. 2025, we're flipping the calendar. Out of the Park 24 baseball. It's the 2025 season for the Philadelphia Phillies. They're all in. Got to improve on that 90-win season. You need to get in the playoffs and win some games. See where this team can go. All right. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. If you're checking us out, obviously, if you're listening to this, you're checking us out on YouTube. So, don't be afraid to comment. Tell me what you think about our moves. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, please. And, keep up to date on the Out of the Park 24 forums under the Dynasty heading. We update there a little more frequently than we do videos. But, bring you up to speed with what we're doing. So, all right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Talk to you next time.